Hello BookTube. This is a continuation of the 12th bookcase shelf tour. In this case, shelf number 6. Start right off here. This is a Mediterranean Summer by David Shalak with Errol Munoz, I think. A Season in France's Côte d'Azur and Italy's Costa Bella. Forward by Mario Batali, the famous chef. It has a little thing here. Just put a chef on a yacht on the Riviera and you have a book-sized vacation. An escapist story that comes with recipes and practically generates its own breeze. That was from the New York Times. This came out in, it's published by Broadway Books in 2007. The forward copyright 2007 Mario Batali. It's pretty good if you can get an intro by Mario Batali. So, moving right along, this one was given as a gift to me by my sister. This medium raw, The Bloody Valentine to the World of Food and the People Who Cook by Anthony Bourdain. Many of you will know him from his television shows. Oh, she got this for me signed. And it's copyright 2010, first paperback edition, HarperCollins. Mr. Bourdain. Then these two from my youth, which I love these books. This is The Blue Nile by Alan Moorhead. Nice edition of that. It's the first of, well, it's part of the 2-volume set. This was $15 when it came out. I don't know if you can see that. Harper and Row publishes New York. And first published in 62, revised in 72. And it looks like that's what this is. A beautifully illustrated edition about the exploration. Here's Rosetta Stone. Exploration of the Nile. And then to go right along with it, I need to get some tape to fix this little part of the dust jacket here. But this is the White Nile, so it goes along with the blue. Harper and Row Publishers again, and this is from 71. Oh, lovely old bookmark found in there. I don't know how many times I've read these. So there's H.M. Stanley. Lovely volumes. And we have Bill Bryson, A Walk in the Woods. Something you'll see on BookTube. This was Broadway Books, New York. Rediscovering America on the Appalachian Trail, Bill Bryson. Walk in the Woods, 1998. A nice little volume of hardback. I believe I found that bookmark. I remember that. Then here's one of my favorite travel writers. This is Jan Morris, and this particular volume's Among the Cities, excuse me. It's an Oxford book. 1985, Oxford University Press. So, you can pause to look at that if you want to see where she's going. Writer I really, really enjoy. Riddle of the Ice, A Scientific Adventure into the Arctic by Myron Arms. I've always enjoyed books about the Arctic and Antarctic. I guess it's one place I know it's colder than where I live, so it makes me feel better. This was an anchor book published by Doubleday. And this is the first anchor book edition of February 1998. I love it when these books have maps so you can orient yourself a bit. This one has plenty of them. So by any account, the impenetrable barrier of sea ice that blocked the Bloody Nile, which is near the boat, halfway up the Labrador coast, should not have been there in July, in what was one of the hottest summers on record a few hundred miles to the south. Frustrated and mystified at having to turn back so early in his 1991 northbound voyage, sailor Myron Arms became determined to explain this unsettling anomaly. Then, another one of these travel books, Nikos Georgiadis Mistra. It's a French, let's see if I can do this. It's got the French flaps that open up into a map. This is the 8th edition. It's an English version of the Greek original by Brian Dijon, Athens. Doesn't really give you a date. One of those guidebooks when you're visiting a place. And here's a very famous book. Frances May's Bella Tuscany, The Sweet Life in Italy. I Can Only Dream. Broadway Books, New York, and this is from 1999. They have a picture of the author. Oh yeah, they have a picture right there. Enjoying life. And then Frances May's Every Day in Tuscany, Seasons of an Italian Life. Broadway Books again, New York, 2010. There is the author. I'm a bit of a sucker for these types of books. Dinner with Persephone by Patricia Storis. About Athens. Pantheon Books, New York, 1996. Maybe I was unfair. I had a hard time getting into this book. I think it was DNF for me. Then, actually, of all the writers on this type of thing, the one I enjoy the most is Ferric Monte. This is The Wisdom of Tuscany. I've read his other books. There he is right there. I really enjoy his books about living there. I love he writes fiction also. Some sea stories, and he writes, he's done some books about boats. I mean, this is quite a character, this guy. I'd recommend, he wrote From a Bare Hull, The World's Best Sailboats. He wrote The Hills of Tuscany, which I read, Go See, A New England Autumn, Vineyard in Tuscany, Sea of Lost Dreams. He's quite an accomplished fellow. Really enjoy his stuff. I think I've sent away all the books of his I have just because I wanted other people to read them. Then this one has a beautiful cover. Italian Neighbors, or A Lapsed Anglo-Saxon in Verona by Tim Parks. There he is. So that finishes off that shelf on the 12th bookcase. Thank you, BookTube.